The Buffalo Bills are about to steal the exact player the Raiders need to build around their franchise quarterback. And if Las Vegas doesn't act fast, this whole rebuild could fall apart before it even gets started. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest NFL updates on the planet. Let's be completely honest right now. The Raiders are standing at a crossroads that every football fan recognizes. One road leads to something special. The other road leads to another painful rebuild that goes nowhere. And the wild part: a single draft pick could decide which road this team actually takes. So here's the question every Raiders fan needs to sit with right now. Are the people running this team bold enough to go get their guy? Or are they going to play it safe and regret it all summer long? Because right now, two completely different things are happening around this franchise at the exact same time. And somehow, both of them connect directly to the same outcome. Let's start with what everybody already knows. Fernando Mendoza is going to be a Las Vegas Raider. Number 1 overall pick. Done. Finished. No more debate needed. When analysts at the highest level of football coverage start treating something like a sealed decision, that is not speculation anymore. That is the league telling you what is coming. And honestly, once you accept that Mendoza is the guy, everything else about this offseason suddenly becomes crystal clear. The entire draft stops being about finding a quarterback. It becomes about one single mission. How fast can you build something real around him? And that changes everything. Because here is where the Raiders actually have something going for them. Kirk Cousins coming into the picture means there is zero panic at quarterback. No pressure to rush a rookie onto the field before he is mentally and physically ready for NFL defenses. Cousins is a veteran who has seen everything. He can hold the offense together, keep the locker room steady, and show Mendoza exactly what it looks like to prepare like a professional at the highest level. Add Jimmy Garoppolo still floating around in the quarterback conversation, and suddenly this team has more depth and stability at that position than they have had in years. Quarterback is no longer the emergency. That alone is a massive shift for a franchise that has been searching for answers there for way too long. So now you are sitting on 10 draft picks. Number 1 overall, 36, 67, and more behind that. The pressure is completely different now. You are not drafting out of desperation. You are drafting with a plan. And that plan has to answer one question above everything else. What does Fernando Mendoza need most in year 1? This is where things get spicy. Because nobody agrees. Drop a comment right now. Do you build the offensive line first, attack the defense, or go get Mendoza a weapon immediately? Tell me below, because this debate is absolutely real. Some analysts are looking at pick 36 and saying the answer is clear. Protect the quarterback. Emmanuel Pregnan. Big body. NFL-ready strength. The kind of lineman who does not make highlight reels on draft night but makes everyone around him better every single Sunday. Is the offensive line already improved? Sure. But comfortable handing a rookie quarterback's protection to that group? That is a different conversation entirely. Pregnan is the kind of pick that looks boring in April and looks brilliant in November. But other analysts are coming from a completely different direction. They are looking at this defense and asking why everyone is acting like the front 7 is already fixed. Caleb Banks at 36 from that perspective makes real sense. Max Crosby is elite. Nobody is arguing that. But one elite player cannot carry an entire defensive line by himself. Banks brings interior disruption. Not flawless, a little inconsistent at times, but the upside is undeniable. You hit on that pick and suddenly this defense stops being a liability. And then there is a third voice pointing at the defensive line from yet another angle. Chrisen Miller. The reason. Scheme fit. With the Raiders shifting toward a 3-4 defensive look under their new system, you need physical, disciplined interior players who can hold blocks and free up the linebackers behind them. Multiple analysts landing on the same position group for slightly different reasons is not a coincidence. That is a pattern the front office cannot ignore. But wait until you hear what is happening with the receiver options, because another team just walked into this story and complicated everything. Here is where things go from interesting to genuinely uncomfortable. Denzel Boston is no longer just sitting around waiting for the Raiders to make a decision. The Buffalo Bills want him. And not in a casual, keeping an eye on him kind of way. Analysts who study Buffalo's roster closely are saying Boston fits that offense almost perfectly. Think about what Josh Allen does every single week. He extends plays. He scrambles. He improvises. He needs receivers who can adjust their routes on the fly and come down with contested catches after the play breaks down. Boston does exactly that. One analyst even connected Boston's playing style directly to the kind of receiver who thrives alongside a mobile, improvisational quarterback. Buffalo does not currently have a receiver who can consistently beat press coverage deep on the outside. Boston solves that problem immediately. So from Buffalo's side, this is not just interest. This is filling a genuine hole on a Super Bowl contender. Now look at Boston's actual numbers before you dismiss any of this. An 87. 7 overall grade from Pro Football Focus, which puts him inside the top 14 receivers out of nearly 700 evaluated. An 86. 6 receiving grade. 56 catches. 755 yards. 10 touchdowns. 13.5 yards per catch. That is not a developmental project. That is a player who can contribute and make plays from day one. And here is exactly why this matters so much for Las Vegas specifically. Mendoza's best throw is the back shoulder. Precise, calculated, and deadly when he has a receiver with the size and hands to go up and get it. Boston is that receiver. The connection between what Mendoza does best and what Boston brings to the field is not accidental. It is almost too perfect. So now one analyst is saying the Raiders cannot afford to sit back and wait. If Boston is truly the right fit for the future of this offense, you move up. You trade back into the first round if that is what it takes. You do not let the Bills walk in and take the exact piece your franchise quarterback needs most. Jeremy Bernard is also in this conversation as a possible target. So is Elijah Serrat. Receivers who can make a young quarterback's job easier by creating separation, running clean routes, and giving him a reliable option when the play design falls apart. But Boston feels different. Boston feels like the guy. So here is where everything lands. The Raiders are not lost anymore. They have a direction. Mendoza at number 1 is the centerpiece. Everything from this point forward is about building something real around him. The patient path looks like Pregnan protecting the pocket, Banks or Miller shoring up a defense that still has real weaknesses, and letting the offense develop naturally over time. Trust the process. Build the foundation. Let Mendoza grow into the role without throwing him into chaos. The aggressive path looks like trading up, securing Boston before Buffalo can grab him, and sending an immediate message that this rebuild is not going to take 3 years. We are going all in right now. Mendoza gets his weapon. The offense has an identity from day one. Both paths make sense. Both paths carry real risk. But here is the truth that sits underneath all of it. This draft is going to reveal exactly what kind of organization the Raiders want to be. Patient and structured, or bold and aggressive. And the Buffalo Bills are not going to wait around while Las Vegas figures that out. This is the defining moment. If the Raiders get it right, we are talking about the beginning of something that this fan base has not felt in a very long time. If they hesitate, if they play it too safe, we already know how that story ends. So here is your comment challenge for today. Would you stay at pick 36 and trust the board to fall your way? Or do you trade up right now and go take Denzel Boston before Buffalo gets there first? Drop your answer below and tell me exactly why. Let's hear it from real fans who actually understand what this team needs. If you want honest, fast, and detailed NFL breakdowns every single time something big happens around the league, make sure you are subscribed and have notifications turned on. The off-season is just getting started, and things are about to move very fast. Do not get left behind.